All right, good day, family. Good evening, whenever you're watching this. I hope you guys had a wonderful day today. And thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. We're just going to give people a little bit of time to jump on this live, and then we're going to go ahead and get started here in a little bit, okay? All right. It was another nice day today. Really nice day today. At least where we are right here. Sun was shining. Was able to get some things done today. And yeah. I don't know if you guys had the chance to catch that video we did. I posted up earlier today. That's what Nicole and I did this weekend. Once again, going on our little hikes. I'm trying to make that into a regular thing that we do because it's so close, you know, and bring you in on it too, you know, because I'm telling you right now, this is a time right now where we got to be about protecting our peace, man. I cannot stress that enough. That's just not a little cute saying or whatever. I really mean it. You got to protect your peace out here, man, because there's far too many people out here that are invested in you staying in a perpetual state of panic and fear and uncertainty and all of that other nonsense. And we ain't about that here at all. So anyway, we're going to give people about 30 more seconds and then we'll go ahead and jump in and get things started here. All right, I think we're ready. We're going to go ahead and jump in and get started. Thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it. And for those that are in the chat, you're waking up to be in the chat. Welcome. Appreciate it. I know on the East Coast is a little bit late, but out here we're just getting our evening started. So anyway, so today what we're going to talk about are a few things here. We're going to start off with the news. And then once we're finished with the news, there's something I had. I'll get to it in just a moment. But today in the news portion today, we're going to, you know, isn't it interesting? We haven't heard too much about those racist text messages lately, right? Well, there's been some additional information that has just hit, you know, that we was able to find on that. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about how Los Angeles or LA is standing on business when it comes to them drawing the line in the sand and saying, no, you're not going to come for our illegals. We're going to talk about that too. We're also going to talk about how this whole, you know, a lot of people who are still upset and burnt because Trump has won the election. And so now they're like, oh, we done with Twitter. We done with X. We're going to go into our new, we're going to go to our new pasture. And there's a familiar trend that is happening with that. And we're going to talk about that. We're also going to jump on, you know, now, as you know, the truth is coming out. Everybody now is starting to tell the truth about the aftermath and what they really thought and felt about Kamala Harris. And this is the people who were some of the loudest people on that were talking about this. And then we're going to touch on Denzel. Apparently Denzel, he's got another rendition of this story that he put out, saying that what he did in this film with Gladiator 2. And yeah, maybe I'm hearing something. Maybe I didn't hear him say what he said, you know. And then we're going to wrap it up with a thought I had about, you know, this whole notion of telling your children, you know, that, you know, your black children that, hey, you know, listen, you know, that everybody in the world is going to hate you. You're hated all over the world, and telling them that and really trying to ask, is that, how helpful has that really been? Many of us are old enough to have been told that. I really want us to be honest. How has that moved us forward in telling our children that? Because we're now the children of those parents that that told us that as well. So I think we're gonna we'll get onto that as well. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started again. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. So without further ado, first and foremost, yes, this broadcast has been brought to you by Samba Tree. We are 110%, if not more, invested in health, in your health and wellness. If you haven't been to the website, make sure you check out the website. It is sambatree.com. Again, it's sambatree.com. We have all kinds of things ranging from bitters to different types of herbs to powders to body creams, butters, jewelry, you name it. So yeah, we got the whole package and then some. So yeah, we are always adding new things there as well. So, and then we also have our program that we just started, a point system where basically with every purchase that you make, you get points, and those points can be accumulated where they can go towards future purchases. So again, make sure you check out the page, our store, which is sambatree.com, and you can also access it. If you look down under this video, you'll see, if you're looking on your phone, you'll see probably like a little shopping bag there. Well, if you click on that, you'll see just a sampling of some of the many things we have in the store. But if you're looking on your desktop, you'll see right under the video all those little pictures, those thumbnails, and then you can click on any one of those and it'll take you right to the store as well. So we made it even more convenient for you to shop right at home and get it going. All right. So again, thank you as always for joining us. Really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get into it. So let's talk about these racist text messages. Remember when this whole thing came out about these racist text messages that were coming out, and they were specifically targeting black people? Remember that? And so I said, well, I'm always very I never forget things. I never forget stories like this, I should say. Stories that blow up and then all of a sudden nobody really talks about it anymore. Those are the stories I always try to focus on. And this was certainly one of them here. Let's take a look here. Let me bring up the story here for you. It's right here. Here we go. It's right here. It says FBI offensive racist text messages sent to high schoolers, Hispanics, and LGBTQ communities. So wait a minute now. All of a sudden now, these messages are going everywhere. So it's not just black people anymore. And so let's just read more about it. It says Columbus, Ohio, the FBI is investigating a new wave of offensive and racist messages targeting high school students, Hispanic communities, and LGBTQ groups. According to a release sent Friday, the messages reportedly include threats of deportation or placement in re-education camps. The agency added that some recipients also noted receiving similar messages via email. As of Monday, it is unclear when they were sent or whether anyone in Ohio received the messages. This comes 2 weeks and then they go back to one they saying black Americans. Now, they're trying to make this like it's some huge mystery as to how or who's even sending these. And it's really interesting how these messages are going to groups that were specifically targeted, especially during the election. Now, minus the whole high school thing, but it's really interesting here, that somehow whoever this is, they're not just blanketed messages, meaning they're not just going everywhere. They just happen to be targeting people, the demographics who were actually being targeted during the elections. So what does that tell me is basically that whoever this may be, they are pulling that information from, this recent event we just had, which was the elections. These, regardless if you're a Democrat, Republican, or whatever, these political parties, they buy these different lists where, mail list, text list, phone list, or whatever. They buy a bunch of them and they target these specific groups. I could tell you right now, this wasn't Republicans doing this. Republicans weren't hardly targeting LGBTQ people. All right. And they certainly weren't really targeting black people. And they were kind of sort of might have, shoulda, coulda, but between that and LGBTQ, and then also they're saying now Hispanic communities, they're targeting them as well. So this is sounding a bit more fishier, and very suspect. It doesn't sound like, what people were originally thinking, that somehow there's some, now that Trump is in office, now that, he's going to attack. This is some operation under the basement in Mar-a-Lago, however you say his mansion. That's Republicans doing it or whatever. But no, this sounds a lot like, somebody else, that's afoot here. So we're going to continue to keep our eyes on this story. I thought this was, quite interesting how this thing has kind of evolved into now they're targeting, LGBTQ people and Latinos and all of that. And incidentally, though, let me point this out to you as well as we are moving on here. Let me bring this up on our on the screen here. Just give me just a moment here, and I will go to our community page here. I try to stay busy on that. Let me get on that right there. All right, here we go. I'll tell you, I'm probably not going to do it on this page, but anyway, now this video right here, I just wanted to take a break real quick here. What causes same-sex attraction, and this video right here. Now, let me tell you something. I watched this video, and I highly recommend every man and every woman to watch it. I mean, this is how good of a breakdown this thing was. And it's whatever you think it is, it's not. You know what I'm saying? In other words, they really go levels into getting to the root and understanding why, and I'm bringing this up within the context of what we've been talking about on this platform is, why is there such a heavy concentration of LGBT in the black church, right? So that's what we've been focused on. And then I came across this, and it really gives more levels to understanding that. And so, they talk about the relationship between the father and the child, and why that is extremely important, and making sure and that the father must be there during these transitional periods between when a young man is between like 7 and 8 years old, because a child from birth to like around 7, 8 years old, they tend to lean more on their mother. But once you get around 7 to 8 years old, when they start to transition into boyhood and then manhood or whatever, then they start leaning towards a male figure in their life. If it's their, hopefully is their father. Right. And so if a man is not in place, not necessarily just physically there, but also mentally, spiritually, the whole nine, it does throw a lot of things off, and they really go into the layers of that. And it's not just, this video is not just for people who may be dealing with homosexuality. It's not that at all. It really deals with, because even me, when I was listening to it, it was like some things I picked up out of that, like, wow, I can identify with that, as far as our relationship with our dads, if your dad was raised a certain way, and how he learns fatherhood from his dad, and then so forth and so on. And they go into the impact that can have in childhood development, right? So they're talking about the father stuff, but then they switch up and then they talk about the mother, the impact of the mother as well. If a mother is too overprotective, if she's looking at her child or her son as a surrogate husband, they go into that level, and where emotionally she feels more connected to her son than she does her own husband. You have a lot of that going on. They also talked about boys who develop where they may not be gay, but they will develop into being very sensitive, where they get offended at everything, and we've seen this a lot, where there's people I've encountered as well. It's like, you can't say anything unless I'm offended. You disrespect me. You disrespect me, and I'm offended, and all of that. And you look at them like, I wonder where that comes from, And so they even talk about that. You see a lot of people who carry that as well. And so anyway, I just thought it was such a great video. And like I said, even though the crux of the topic is really about understanding, this whole homosexuality thing, they even talked about genetically, because, people often say that, people are just born this way. And believe it or not, there's some slight truth to that. And he talks about that, but not in the way you think. All right. And so that's why you got to listen to the video, because he really talks about that. And because the things that are missing genetically, he was talking about how, again, that's where both parents come in and can help bring that balance. And again, it was such a great discussion. I can't say enough about it, but make sure you check it out when you get a chance, because again, like I said, it's not so much about homosexuality. It's really dealing with how we relate to our parents and the importance of having a father and a mother in your life. And it was really, really good discussion there. So anyway, I just wanted to plug that video in there. But anyway, and what I'm going to do, what I plan on doing is, what I like to do is I would like to do a live view, kind of a watch party of that video over on our long form history channel. So I'm trying to figure out when I will do that, because there was so many nuggets in there that I want to be able to pull out so that, we can really kind of get down to the nitty gritty on this stuff. It was really good. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic here. LA standing on business. If you haven't heard, as you know, right now that, Trump, he's, at least he's sounding like he's pretty serious about, trying to get out, kick out all of these people who have come into the country illegally. And this is the part of this, of the whole discussion that you see on social media that they're intentionally leaving out. They're trying to make it seem as if all Latinos are going to be kicked out of the country. That's not true at all. The focus has always been those that have come into the country illegally, and that's not just Latinos, that's other groups as well that have come into this country illegally. And why is that important? Again, you have many people who have entered into this country legally, but they had to go through a lot of stuff, like fees, and you got to stand in line for this, and then you got to stand in line for that, and then you got to go to here, and then you got to go to there. There's a lot. It doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it can take up to years for you to get your legal status. Well, that's kind of normal for other countries as well, but here you have to go through that as well. And so what America has done is just flung the doors wide open and said, look, anybody can just come on in. And so the people who went through the process, they're saying, wait a minute, nah, you get back in the line, which I can understand. I get that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's who is the ones that is being targeted, by the incoming Trump administration. So, don't let these people fool you, trying to make it seem like they're going after everybody. And we're going to talk about this whole fear nonsense that I'm hearing from different ones. I'm listening to some people out here, and it's like they want things to fall apart. I heard this one guy today, and I don't want to get too far off track. Oh, was it yesterday? He was saying, you know what? Like I say, okay, you had too much internet today. He was saying, you know what? I just thought of something. He said, isn't it something that they put all the illegals in black communities? And then now Trump is coming, and he's saying he gonna send some troops into our communities now, which means he probably gonna get us too. Oh Lord Jesus, he gonna come. No, that ain't happening. Okay, but again, it's the ghost stories that keep going on and on and on. They trying to think of any and everything to get people all scared up, that what's going to happen now, that they're going to start randomly snatching black people off the street, and you better watch it now. Boo! It's really going to get rough out here now, and all of this other stuff. Stop listening to these fool idiots. or like my dad used to say, jive turkeys. Okay, stop listening to them. All right. But anyway, LA and many other cities across the United States, well, they're standing on business. They're saying that, hey, listen, you ain't coming after our illegals. This is going to be a sanctuary city. You ain't taking our people. And Chicago is one of those cities as well. Isn't in Chicago? That to me blows my mind. I mean, you got black folks who've been showing up at these meetings at Chicago, these city council meetings, screaming to the top of their lungs and saying, hey, listen, you got to stop this. We don't want this illegal stuff up in our communities. We don't want them here. We don't want them here. You need to move them somewhere else. Stop taxing us. We got programs that were set aside for us. Why are you canceling those programs so that you can help these people? You got black folks that have been screaming about this for the longest. And then what does a black mayor, what does he do? La, 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 la. We still going to protect these people no matter what. Now that's in Chicago. Yeah, only Pamela's way. She said Ricky Smiley. I saw, how you see some videos out of the corner of your eye, Pamela? That was one I saw out of the corner of my eye. I was like, do I even bother listening to this man? He always looks tired. Always looks tired. And he like, oh Lord, here they come. Shut up. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, let's move on. Make me tired, man, thinking about it. Let me find this right here. Here we go. Los Angeles. And they said today, this is council member Nithya Raymond. She says today, the council unanimously voted to establish the city of Los Angeles as a sanctuary city, effectively prohibiting any city resources, including property or personnel from being utilized for any immigration enforcement. Now, Los Angeles City Council, I do remember, wasn't there a member on there? She said something derogatory about black people too. All right, and let's move on. She said, they saying here, this vote also critically prohibits the direct and indirect sharing of data with federal immigration authorities. This common sense policy codifies the approach that LA has prioritized for almost half a century, ensuring Angelenos can call for help when they need it without fear, regardless of immigration status. So I'm an Angeleno. So someone that comes into this country illegally and they move to Los Angeles, now you're an Angeleno. Well, that's kind of like, that is about as backwards as me moving to Mexico City and saying that I'm a Mexican. How does that even work? How does that even work? But you see how, oh yeah, thank you, Juan. Yeah, that woman I was referring to, she said she gone. This critical legislation was born from a motion we introduced with, and then they mentioned the names here, in March last year to codify former Mayor Garceretti's 2017 executive directive declaring Los Angeles a sanctuary city. This executive directive was issued in the wake of the then Trump administration's threat of mass deportations. We saw how, okay, I got to hear enough. But isn't this something here? Isn't this something? These people will come together like Voltron once again for people who came into this country illegally. And this woman here, I don't know who she is, but this is your black-brown coalition right here. This is your black-brown coalition right here. You're looking at it. Now, what is going to be the impact of black folks who've been in that city for years? If the city is taking this stance, what is going to be the impact? And I'm gonna tell you, I was last night. We were looking. My son and I. We were looking at let's see what I look at travel videos. I love looking at travel videos, but then every now and then I look at those videos of the guys people who live in their vans and stuff. And I just think it's neat. They do that. But then this one particular person, they weren't in LA, they were in San Diego. And wow. I mean, San Diego has a part of town that's kind of rough, but bruh, I didn't know it done gotten more of that. A lot more homeless. And then LA is no different. LA has gotten a lot worse from what I understand in terms of the homelessness. And then you go all the way up the coast, all the way up to Oakland, same thing. So now you're going to compound that with a bunch of people who've come into this country illegally. And what is going to be the impact on that? But see, here's the thing. Black people have been told, shut up and vote for this because they're Democrats and you need to vote for them because we're all one coalition. But they don't tell you how far this thing is going to, you don't think far enough out. Los Angeles, I don't even know what it's going to look like in 10, 15 years. I really don't. Now, this is Los Angeles, but then you also got, the suburbs and all of that too, which, that's a whole different story there. But Los Angeles, as we know it, is going to be these people, man. I'm telling you, they turning that city into some kind of mess there. Anyway, let's move on there. Let's move on to the next story here. I wish you said, I'm just looking at my comments here. Let's see. It said San Diego, Santa Ana, Santa Ana, San Francisco, Santa Monica, the homelessness as well as Los Angeles out of control. Yet, Santa Monica, I was looking at something. I think it was a movie. Yeah, I think it was a movie. It was like an old movie. And I was like, oh my goodness, I kind of remember Santa Monica looking like this. Like the main part of Santa Monica, you got the pier and it's like a night. Oh man, that park is nice. Well, it used to be. It is really nice. That was like my first introduction when I first moved out to LA area. Oh, it was so nice. You go there now, it's all tents and everything else all around there. And but it's all they're doing is compacting on that issue. Anyway, let's move on here. Let's see. Here's the next thing. Now, we're switching topics here. Next topic here. Black folks are now chasing white folks. You know how the trend goes. Typically when what happens is like we were just talking about these cities, and the cities are what they are, and so people say, you know what? Let me get up out of here. We're going to go and move out into the suburbs. Right. And so, and then black folks will say, you know what, once we get our money together, we're going to go out there with them because we're tired of the crime too. We're going to get out of there. And then what happens? Then we get out to the suburbs and then we establish our own corners. And then unfortunately what happens, and you see this in Georgia, if you want a case study, just go to Atlanta. I know all about Atlanta. Okay. Just if you want a case study, you just go to Atlanta. All right. And so anyway, when you go to the suburbs, unfortunately, many of those suburbs that used to be nice or whatever, and they still are. I'm not saying it's a dump, but there are areas outside of the city of Atlanta that are now starting to see the impact of those who have moved from those areas, outside of the city and are moving into those areas. And it's just what it is. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And so now we're seeing, and then it goes on and on and on. I mean, who knows, man? They probably, if you're going up 75 in Atlanta, when we moved, people, if you're going up that way, I ain't talking about 85 going up to Gwinnett County. I'm talking about 75. 75, it was going up to where K-State, where Kennesaw State is. And then, what was the next town? Where did we live in? I can't think of the name of the town. But then there was another town past that. Ackworth. There you go. Ackworth. You go past Ackworth, it's probably even further than that now, because if you go any further than that, you're going to be out near Tennessee at that point. In Dalton, you're going to be out there in the moment. That's probably the new suburbs down. But as further they go out, we ain't that far behind. It's just what it is. But anyway, there's a new trend. This same trend we're seeing happening online. Folks are mad now, with now that Trump has won the election. And, Elon Musk has been very open with who he supported and continues to support. And, and so people are mad, and they said, enough is enough. I'm tired of this place. I'm going to move out to, we're going to create our own platforms. And so Blue Sky is a platform that actually has been out for like a couple of years. In fact, I may even have an account. I have to look that up. I haven't been on it in a long time. I think it was like out of curiosity I signed up for it. It was really nothing going on. But boy, oh boy, there's a lot of people that have made the transfer or the jump from Twitter or X, to Blue Sky. Now, Blue Sky was founded by Jack Dorsey. I think that's his last name. He was the original founder of Twitter. And so once he sold Twitter, he, along with a few others, got together and they created this competitor to Twitter, and it's called Blue Sky. Now, Blue Sky it's like I said, it's a lot like Twitter. I don't think it has as many, from what I'm hearing, it doesn't have as many features as Twitter yet, but it is a lot of people that are making the jump over there. And those people that are going over there are people who are mad at the right. They're mad at conservatives. They're mad at Trump and all that. So it's pretty much all leftists that are over there. It's kind of like what happened with Gab. Okay, Gab is another Twitter-like platform, and it's for conservatives. Conservatives. It's an echo chamber for conservatives. And this one is going to be an echo chamber for liberals or people on the left. And so it's white owned. Okay. I mean, like a lot of these other things are. And so in like fashion, you start seeing a lot of black folks starting to say, hey, we're going to go head over there too. And so that's what's happening. Now, why am I mentioning that? Because there are other options out there for black people, but it doesn't seem like they're jumping on that as much as they're jumping on Blue Sky. And what's so interesting about this, with Blue Sky is I have some examples. If I can find them, I'll pull them up. But when I tell you, it's when I say leftist, I mean leftist, meaning that, there's stuff on there where, you got, people who are open to everything, like the guys in diapers. And there was quite a few pictures of that. I'm trying to see if I can find that right now. Hold on for a second. It's not, certainly that's not the sum total of what's out there, but oh yeah, here's one right here. It was quite a few accounts like this. People who are into this kind of stuff. So when I say leftist, this is the kind of stuff you're going to be seeing over there as well. All right. I'm trying to see. And then there was some other stuff here I would show you, but I don't want to take no chances. Them, YouTube coming after me, but it's you got a lot of that stuff, the trans, the LGBT, all of that stuff. Well, black folks are jumping on that too. They're getting over there too. And they are, skipping over, platforms like Fanbase. Now, Fanbase, if you haven't heard of Fanbase, is Isaac Hayes III. Okay, Isaac Hayes III. That's as is Isaac Hayes' son, one of his sons. Now, Isaac Hayes, he was one of these many guys out here, black guys out here that was running their mouth. talking about how, again, the whole misogynist, if you're a black man and you're not, up on board with Kamala, this, then you're this, that, or whatever. He was on all that stuff, and but at the same time, he did create a platform. And I actually signed up for that. But when I saw him going in that direction, I just said, man, I'm done. Let me get out off of his platform. But I think it's like a cross between Twitter and Instagram, I think. One of the things he has is it's a way he established it, to his credit. It's not just like a Twitter or Instagram. I think he says for $399, you can actually purchase equity in that company. And so, which means that you can make money as more people are joining and making use of the different things on there. So he set it up that way. So I see the direction he's going in this, but, and there were numbers of black people who were talking about actually getting on. And according to him, there was a significant amount of black people that got on, but not as much as they've been jumping on Blue Sky. But this is him. This is a clip here that I found of him, and he's talking about some of this. I want you to take a listen, and it's about 4 minutes and change. Okay, let's take a listen on what he has to say.
First and foremost, I think post-election, everybody feels the type of way about X and how they feel. But overwhelmingly, a lot of black people have said that they want to leave X because it's racist and right-wing, and they want to find other apps. And collectively, a lot of the white community on X felt the same way. And so they identified an app, which is Blue Sky, which has been around for a few years already and raised about $23 million. And they mass exited over to Blue Sky. Now, in that same process, Fanbase is a black founded app and Spill is a black founded app. And what I want to point out is the amount of coverage that Blue Sky is getting currently is remarkable. If you haven't seen Blue Sky, check out Blue Sky. It's not better than Twitter. It doesn't have the functionality as Twitter does. But the fact that so many people are downloading Blue Sky and their user base is skyrocketing, they got like 1 million users in a few days, they could go out and raise more money over the 23 million that they've already raised. That's important because then it helps them build the app to compete with X. I'm going to name a bunch of media sites that have talked about Blue Sky since all this has happened. I'm going to name them. Listen to these. The Washington Post, BBC, USA Today, Forbes, Vox, PC Magazine, The Verge, The New York Times, TechCrunch, NBC News, CNET, Lifehacker, Mashable, The Guardian, ZDNet, Slate. So out here in this whole vortex of shifting social media right now, we have Fanbase and we have Spill. We could do the same thing. When the white community was offended about what was going on with X, they stood on business and they left X because they know they make X, X doesn't make them. When there's an opportunity to support and uplift a black founded company using media the same way, I see a lack of action, right? Black media, where are you? And where are the culture sites, especially in this new world we live in right now, where all we really got is us? If we're going to build our own future through collaboration and working together, where is Ebony and Essence and The Root and BET, All Africa, The Griot, Bossip, TV One, all the radio stations? Every black media outlet in the entire country right now should be talking about Fanbase and about Spill and telling everybody black about these two platforms so we can do the exact same thing that Blue Sky is about to do. They're about to go raise a bunch of money. They're going to raise probably $100 million off this. And again, we don't own Blue Sky. And there's no shade to Blue Sky because I made a Blue Sky account too. And I tell everybody, use the apps that you're going to use. But my point is this, is that why can't we leverage the reach and the capacity that we have to support companies that are founded by us, to elevate them to the point that venture capital and private equity and high net worth individuals, and even the raise that I'm doing on Start Engine. Like, why can't we elevate ourselves to have that type of visibility? Do you know what that would do for both fan base and Spill if it was talked about, on all these platforms, these black media platforms? All of you collectively should be uplifting fan base and Spill right now in this moment, the same way all these other major publications are uplifting Blue Sky, because we're at the disadvantage. If all we truly have is us, where are we to support each other in moments like these? So shout out to Spill, shout out to fan base and everybody over at fan base. But black media, you're missing an opportunity to create a transformative moment in tech for 2 black startups that could really benefit from your voice.
Number one, you're looking in the wrong direction as far as black media. Here's the thing that he's missing, and he's missing quite a few things here. Hold on. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. That one's going to speak for itself right there, man. I don't even think, I would say nailed it, but I don't even think that's, I don't, more that that's a laser. Anyway, got me messed up here. Anyway, well, there's a couple of things that he's missing here. All right, with this whole thing. Number one, you are looking at black media. Well, what is black media? What is, and then so he defined it by ebony. Then as soon as he said ebony, I was like, okay, you don't, BET. This ain't, BET is not black owned. Okay, and then he named some other ones or whatever. No, that's not black media anymore. And that's why I said these elections, what they showed is that they don't have the power that they think they're in the center of the universe. They're not. I was sitting in the car cracking up the other day, thinking about how now, do y'all remember when Trump, when he was in office last time, those press conferences he would have? Oh, he would be going in on them folks. Like usually, the president, he's all like this. Trump, he just be like, whatever. Now, that was his first term. Can you imagine what his press conferences are going to be like now? His second term, he ain't got nothing to lose now. He ain't gonna be going off. So when you remember he went to the black, the journalist thing or whatever, when he went there and he was going back at, they had no power. They had none. And then when Kamala, when she went there, they were throwing all kind of softball questions to her. And then they asked her one hard one. Then she got up in a huff and they were all like looking at each other. Remember that? So no, they don't have the power that they want to pretend that they have. In fact, I was watching the young lady that she hosts, is a black woman that hosts a did I bookmark that? A show on CNN, and it's a popular show. It's on CNN, and she basically was admitting that that mainstream media doesn't have the power that it once had. It doesn't have it anymore. And so, these people gotta, you gotta face the truth. They do not, it's not there anymore. It's on social media. You got someone on CNN, guy that's like a veteran journalist. He said, man, I'm out. I'm bouncing. I'm gonna start a podcast. So this is where it is. So number one, you're looking at the wrong direction. You got to see yourself as the media, period. That's number one. Number two, and I'm trying to look at this in a way because someone said some comments about him. I agree with them too. The people that were saying that, I wouldn't get this man a dime, quite honestly, because the way he was talking down on other black folks, I ain't giving them jack. You hear me? But that's my opinion, okay? But the other thing is, this expectancy, what you're dealing with is this. It's an unfortunate thing, and that is that it's sad, but it's very true. In many cases, not all, but in many, many, many cases, for a lot of black folks, the ice water is always colder on their side. It's just what it is. And that's something that you're going to have to contend with, because I'm telling you right now, all he needs is one time where his system fan base goes completely down, and there will be times the system will go down. And black folks will be on the first thing smoking over the blue sky, the ones that are over there now. See, man, you got to get yourself to get. Listen, I know, and I've seen this play out over and over and over and over again. This is just what you're dealing with. And it's just, so I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to get on here and trash his app, because from everything I'm hearing and the things I've saw, it does look very promising. But there are some realities that you also going to have to face when it comes to the people, because the people at the end of the day, they want blue sky, because Mr. Charlie is under the blue sky. They want blue sky so much. All you got to do is go on Twitter and do hashtag black sky. I'm not kidding you. Do hashtag black sky. I'm going to do it right now. And black folks have already gotten over there. And sky, hold on. They done already gotten over there, and they're already setting up camp under the black sky. They're calling it black sky. And because they feel a lot safer over there. This lady here, she over here talking about how you can maneuver, giving instruction on how you can block people and stuff, and telling people how to do it. People getting all on it now, and they're calling it black sky because they feel safer over there. This is what's sad about it. It's really sad. They feel like they can go a lot further under. Okay, I downloaded my tweet archive. I can leave this be and go to the Blue Sky app with my people. And so look at them dancing, all of that, because they feel safer over there because white people are running it. And it's sad, but it's true. It's sad, but it's very true. And so, yeah, I don't know what else to say on that. If it works for them, it works for them. But there are just certain realities, that you're going to have to deal with. And I can't speak on the other app that he mentioned. I've heard of that. I don't know anything about that app. But I've seen over the years, I can't tell you how many startup black men and women that I have followed. There's a guy that did a startup camp on CNN. Some of y'all may remember this. He was on CNN. It was a special that they did. It was on CNN. He did a whole camp of startup young black men and women who wanted to get into Silicon Valley, and he walked them through how to get started. Well, that guy, I know him extremely well. I know him extremely well. And he was telling me a lot of the stuff that was going behind the scenes. And he said, man, it's a hot mess. He said, I try to help these people and tell them what they need to do and all that. And they don't want to listen. Literally, this is what you need to do. This is the areas you need to focus on. Nah, it's going to be this. You ain't going to tell me. It's like, all right. And the whole thing pretty much crashed and burned. It may have been like a couple of people that did okay, but everyone else, it just crashed and burned. So I had some understanding on some of that right there. But like I said, listening to him on what he's saying, he's expecting mainstream media, black mainstream media, BET, which is white owned, to give him props. They're not doing jack. They ain't gonna do that because of who runs it. And so that's what that. Anyway, let's move on here to the next thing here. Let's see the next thing we got on here. Oh, and the truth comes out. So as you know, that a lot of people have been now coming out and starting to tell their truth about what they really saw in the Kamala, campaign and all of that, and people starting to speak their truth. And so here's some examples of that here. And as I'm looking for that next story there, I don't know what Trump doing. He got Dr. Oz to run. I saw that. I was just like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. That's why I'm just looking. But Dr. Oz ain't got nothing to say or do when it comes to my personal health. I'm just looking, and I'm just saying, all right, well, here we go. Anyway, check this out here. So this is Katie Kirk, and take a listen to her and what she had to say about Kamala. Let's take a listen here.
And again, I think she really did well in so many areas, and but I was frustrated by her inability to really succinctly answer questions at times, Jen, and to kind of, like, if she was asked about changing the Supreme Court at that CNN town hall, she had an opportunity to talk about ethics and what Alito and Clarence Thomas were doing, and she answered like in one sentence and then like went on to something that had nothing to do with the question. People notice that, and it's like, answer the goddamn question, please.
Now that's Katie Kirk and Jen Psaki, however you say it. Now these same people right here, when we would raise that up and point that out, oh, you hater. You see the difference? You could say that. They could say that. Well, black folks, we point that out. Oh, you just hate all black women. You see how that works out? But they can say it. They can point that out. We've been saying that. And many of you been saying that. So that's one example. Let's go on and let me find the next one. I think this one was, this is Charles Barkley. Let me see if I find that one. Why in the heck do I want to hear what he got to say? But I think I have it. If I can find it, great. If I can't, oh, here it is right here. Too late. It's right here. Now, this is Charles Barkley. This is what he had to say, because Charles Barkley, he voted for Kamala. Let's take a listen to him now. Now that the elections are over, let's hear from his pearls of wisdom.
And I just want to say this to the Democrats, which I'm an independent who voted Democratic. Do me this favor. Shut the up. When you win, you get to say what you want to. When you lose, you need to shut the hell up. Oh, President Biden they didn't get him out the race soon enough. Kamala didn't do this. We lost because we had no game plan. We still haven't solved the immigration problem, have no viable answers. Never addressed inflation.
But you voted for her. You voted for her. Bruh, you voted for her. But now you want to stand on top of a mountain and tell the party that you voted for to shut up. These people, man, I tell you, they...
Bringing all these stupid stars out to rally the vote. What was that? Hey, I love Beyonce. What's bringing her out? That ain't gonna make me vote a certain way. Cardi B, I like Cardi B. That ain't gonna make me vote a certain type of way. You guys lost because y'all stupid. And
these people now, it's just funny how all of a sudden now they want to start telling the truth now. Here's another one here. Now, this is Roland Martin. Now, this is by way of Sabby Sabs, her channel. She does a very good job, breaking things down politically and all that. She's a independent Green Party. She voted Green Party. And but she does a very good job in breaking things down, you know, politically and all that. And check her out from time to time. But she, I believe, was either responding to Roland Martin or vice versa. And this is her talking about Roland Martin exchange that they had. But she's going to be playing a clip from Roland Martin. I think this is the night that Trump got elected, when Roland Martin went into he just like, y'all, you know, just he was speaking, prophesying death, doom, and destruction on all black people. And so this is him right here, and let's play this clip here. Did I make this too big? Hold on. Oh, come on, mouse. Here we go.
Say it. Roland knew that we were right. Roland Martin knows this party ain't shit. He knows. He just don't want to hear from us. He wants to be the one to say it. Democrat operative.
In the United States Senate. His time is done. On the House side, I don't want to see Nancy Pelosi's ass again on television doing interviews. It's time for you to go. Hakeem Jeffries is not. If Democrats regain the House, he becomes the majority. He becomes Speaker of the House. If Republicans control it, he's the minority leader. Nancy, it's time for you to go home to your husband. No. I'm saying that for a reason. Because you have to understand, you cannot continue to have 75, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82-year-old people laying out your strategy when you're trying to reach demos, and when Nancy goes and she don't do black media, because she damn sure didn't do black media when I asked for speaker.
Oh, see, it's all coming out now, ladies.
All coming out. See, you can't point that. See, until before that. Look, I'm tripping over my own words here. All before that, now you couldn't point that out. Now all of a sudden, Nancy is in league with Trump. Now she's just as much as don't want to be around black people as Trump. Now all of a sudden we're hearing that. But up until then, you better not say anything. You better not point that out. You see what I'm talking about? These people already know. They know. They know what they're dealing with over there. And they want to try to make it seem as if somehow we get enough black people, we can overtake this. You ain't doing nothing. Sit down. And Nancy Pelosi, you think she's shaking in her boots because blockhead Roland Martin, his whole head take up the whole screen? His whole Rubik's Cube head takes up the whole screen. I can't even turn the thing to get all the colors because there ain't no room there. But now all of a sudden it's safe now to call all these people out and go as far as calling them out and saying that, hey, she don't do black media. But then we point that out, we try to bring that out, then we're wrong. It's your issue. That's just funny to me. It's funny to me just to sit back and to watch how these people now are telling the truth. And, you know, people coming out now, you hear the truth. Roland Martin, speaking of which, there was an article that just came out. They said that I believe he received allegedly $350,000 for doing the interview with her, with Kamala. $350,000. Now, and then Beyonce, I don't know if some of y'all may have been tracking that whole thing. Beyonce's mom versus Candace Owens and and Beyonce's mom, all of that. Just go to Candace Owens' channel and she goes through all of that. But basically, all these other outlets have been reporting that Beyonce allegedly had received $10 million for her just rolling up and showing up and saying that, I don't come here as an entertainer. I come here as a mother and as a woman and all of that. Right. And that's all she did. She came out looking all like she's the queen. And then she had her partner that, she the one got the suit on. She got the whole suit on looking like, Tom and Jerry. You know how the cat, seen that episode when they had them zoot suits on? She got a whole zoot suit on, and then here she come. I said, okay, we get the messaging here. And so anyway, she came out, said something for a couple of minutes, and then jetted. Allegedly, she received $10 million for that. And then the mammy heard about it, and she got mad and didn't go after the other white outlets that have been reporting this and saying the same thing. Instead, she went after Candace Owens and got so mad because Candace Owens talked about it. She had Facebook take down the post where Candace Owens was talking about it. But she didn't have the same smoke for all these other white outlets here. But it's about to officially come out because by law, these campaigns have to release how they spent their money. But, from what we're hearing, a lot of these people who were the biggest cheerleaders, as many of us already expected, they were ones that they were all getting them checks. All of them were. What's DL Hughley, for example? Like DL Hughley, I'm like, where this dude even come from? No, DL Hughley, Charlemagne the Fool. I'm like, how is Charlemagne the Fool on CNN having deep discussions about politics, trying to have a deep discussion with politics? How did he get to that position? And then, he trying to break down and all this. And I'm like, and then you got DL Hughley up there, same thing, trying to break things down. And then he get mad and all of a sudden he went, going off or whatever. And then Roland Martin, the same thing. I said, the energy these guys got, they must be getting something out of this. Well, now we're starting to find out. It's all coming out now. It's all coming out. See, here's the thing that I want to say to you. See, Kamala, if she was so what she was supposed to be, with everything that people were trying to say she was, then, this is a matter of life. It's a matter of life or death. It's a matter of saving this country. As black people, we got to just hurry up. We got to come around and we got to protect this woman. We got to protect this Indian woman. We got to protect her. And we got to assign her that she is black. She is a black woman and all this stuff. And all of this energy that you're putting around this woman, right? If she was all of that, then my question to you is, why do you got to pay for it? Why you got to get paid to do that? If you really believe that. If you really believe all that, why you got to get paid for it? She had a whole We Are the World concert tour, the whole campaign. Every time I turn around, it was a whole concert. And then I get on Twitter and they talking about, it's going to be Kamala Harris with special guests. It was like solid gold back in the day. It was like a whole list of people up there. I was like, well, dang, who's coming? Her or everybody else? But it's all coming out now like the truth does. The truth will always come out in the end. And you know that, and I know that. That's how it works. That's why we love the truth so much here, because it will you can try to bury it as much as you can, but at the end of the day, here comes the truth. The truth always comes out and lets you know tells who needs to sit down and tells who needs to shut up. Anyway, let's move on here. I think this is our other story here. Oh, did y'all see this one here? If you had any doubts that Jake Paul Tyson fight was fixed, was fixed, take a look at this clip here that I came across here. Look at Tyson pulling punches. You cannot tell me that the Tyson that we know or knew, that open right there, Jake Paul would have been on the ground. But for 20 mil, he went along with it. He showed his whole behind to boot. That's why I don't pay attention to these people, man. I don't pay attention to these people, man. Anyway, let me move on here. Let me find this other thing here. Denzel Washington, you remember this clip that I played of Denzel Washington when he said, let me see if I can find that old clip first, and then I'll get to this latest one here. Let me cue this one up here, and then I'm gonna go, let me find that the other clip of Denzel Washington and what he said. Light is out. Someone mad. Anyway, hold on. Always do this. There we go. All right, here we go. Denzel Washington. Let me go back here. I'm looking for Denzel. Okay, here it is. I'm just going under the post because this is where people were like, man, I don't believe you, man. No, that ain't happened. No, Denzel didn't say that. He couldn't have said that. No. See, what happened, what had happened was, see, it was they bent his arm backwards and see, that's how it happened. It wasn't a real Denzel. It was an AI Denzel. It was like people just did not want to believe it. And I said, just look it up. Just all you got to do is look it up. And so anyway, here's the
I actually kissed a man in the film, but they took it. They cut it. I think they got chicken.
I loved the film. You know better than me, so you
wrong. That's what's wrong. This world.
Hold on.
Hard to want to kill him because he...
Yes. Was it hard?
No. Oh, so no, it wasn't hard.
Right. We'll have to see who are on your own side. I love to see that.
Hold on.
And
I actually kissed a man in the film, but they took it. They cut it. I think they got chicken.
I was going to ask because I just heard about the Paul and Pedro forehead kiss that apparently got cut from the movie.
I'm not sure about that one, but yeah, I kissed the guy full on the lips, and I guess they weren't ready for that yet.
Oh.
All right. Okay, so you heard what he said there. All right, now let's go. Let's listen to Denzel now and what he's saying. Okay, hold on for a second. Let me pull this up. Because I wanted to play that just to make sure that I was hearing what I heard. And so now this is him in front of Paulette, his wife. And let's take a listen to what he said here.
Okay, got to talk about the kiss. Ridley said he never saw the kiss. He said it didn't happen.
It's much ado about nothing. Right. It really is much ado about nothing. They're making more of it than it was. I kissed him on his hands. I gave him a peck, and I killed him.
But I have to tell you, us gay boys want to see Denzel kissing another man.
Well, I don't have the part yet. You gonna write it? We gotta do it. All right.
There you go. So now out of his own mouth. No, but here, but whoa, back up. Let's listen to it again.
It's much ado about nothing. Right. It really is much ado about nothing. They're making more of it than it was. I kissed him on his hands. I gave him a peck, and I killed him.
So hold on now. Now, the clip that I just played earlier, he said he kissed him right on the mouth. And now he done switched up, and now he's saying, oh, I kissed him on the hands. What happened? What Denzel, what happened? Which one happened? I'm trying to figure out. Now I'm a little bit confused here. So I had to go to AI to help me figure this out because I am a little bit confused now. So I said, AI, I said, can you describe to me then who did he kiss or what did he kiss? And so AI came up with something for me. And so I had to, so this maybe is what he's describing here because, like I said, again, I wasn't too sure, but AI took a stab at it. So this is probably who he was talking about because on one hand, he's saying he kissed him on the hand. And He's saying that he kissed him. I'm just, what's going on? Maybe this is it. Maybe we're looking at it. I see what you're saying. Only say he said kiss him on the hands and gave him a peck. That ain't no peck. The way he described it. So maybe. So maybe this is it. Maybe we done cracked the code. So maybe this is going to be in the movie. Maybe this is maybe I'm exposing something here. Maybe this is what he's talking about. I don't know. But anyway, let me look at my time here. I see what I see there. Okay. All right. So I think we're done with the news here. So real quick, let me just leave you with this. Okay. So we won't take too long with this at all. So again, earlier, on the community page, I mentioned that video that I said, man, I highly recommend that if you take the time to watch it, make sure you watch it. But let me leave you with this. All right. Back when I was thinking about this today in the car, back when I was in the Hebrew space, I would oftentimes hear people, using the passage that talks about where Jesus is saying that, the world will hate you because of me. People, a lot of times people, they'll quote that, according to the Bible, that's what Jesus said, right? The world will hate you because of me. In the Hebrew space, what I have seen is how people have taken that passage and they have made it to be applicable exclusively to black people, and that black people by default, we're going to be hated upon because we're black, but they use that scripture as a basis. So again, it goes back to what I was saying is how people can take the Bible and make it say whatever they want to say. But where am I getting at with this? The reason why I was thinking this is because of the fact that many of us are of the generation where our parents told us that hey, listen, the world out there is ugly. The world out there, they do not like black people. You're going to have to work twice. You're going to have to work 3 times as hard, in order to kind of get to somewhere where you're okay. What I want you to really think about, just over the next few days or so is how effective was that advice? How effective was that? Did you take that advice and work 2-3 times as hard as other white people? Or telling your children that the world hates you, how effective is that? Now, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that we don't live in a world that has a, built-in, dislike of people that have darker skin, because we do. It's there. You understand what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that we are bound for failure. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's the part where I'm saying that we have to really revisit that and ask ourselves, is that really helping when we tell our children that, that you pretty much is just it. It's just bad enough when I hear a lot of people, at least I know in the Hebrew world, saying that we're cursed. We're a cursed people. And they keep saying this over and over again. I'm like, no, I'm not cursed. You may be cursed, but no, I'm not a cursed person. I'm not. I understand the obstacles that are out there, but there are many things that I can do. There are many things that I can accomplish, just like you as well. And yes, I'm aware of the obstacles that are out there, but that doesn't mean that I'm a cursed individual. And so when you say that to people, when you say that, especially to children, it does wire the brain in a certain way where these children will grow up into adults feeling that as if they will never succeed. They'll never be good enough. And that ties in kind of to what we were talking about earlier with the whole fan base versus blue sky, this whole mindset that people just don't think, I'm talking about black folks now, we just think that in order to establish something, Mr. Charlie's got to be somewhere around us. You understand what I'm saying? And you see this a lot, and it doesn't happen all the time. I do see areas where some of our people are breaking out of that, and we do need to acknowledge those things. But there are many areas that we have to really start asking ourselves and looking at this stuff and like, did we do ourselves a disservice by pre-condemning our own people, our own selves, by telling ourselves that we're not, you're going to have to work 3 times as hard or 4 times as hard, or, you're a cursed individual, you're under a curse and all of that stuff. Are we doing any help by doing that? You know what I'm saying? By saying that, to ourselves. And so it's things like that that causes me to, really, just to reanalyze and to really take a closer look at some of these things here. Again, I'm not saying that the system isn't wired in such a way where they don't favor black people, because yes, there's plenty of evidence of that, but it does not mean that you cannot succeed. And there are far too many examples where, that we do have where our people are succeeding and are doing quite well. And no, you don't have to join a fraternity or sorority to do that or to experience that. And so that's the focus that we try to focus here on this platform here, is really trying to get, focus and emphasize on health and wellness, because if you can get the mind right, if you can get the mind right and getting that together, man, you'll begin to start seeing things a lot different. And so, and people don't realize just how important that is. And so I've been wrestling just even today, matter of fact, with, going live, I was like, what am I going to talk about? That kind of thing, because, I don't want to just keep talking about what's wrong with the world. You know what I'm saying? But I also know that oftentimes when I do a video where I'm talking about solutions, real solutions, or okay, this is what we need to do, those videos typically are the ones that don't get a lot of views. And so what I've seen a lot of in my lifetime is that the majority of people, I don't think really want to do the work, that is required to succeed and to move forward without all the mess. You know what I'm saying? And that's something we have to fight through. And so it starts with how you eat. It starts with, the people that you associate with, your belief system, that always challenging yourself, that kind of thing. And that's what we try to do. And that's what we try to promote here. We can have fun with the news and all of that. But at the end of the day, I want to leave you with, yes, you can succeed. Yes, you can move forward. You can reach those heights that are in your brain, that the places that you want to go, the things you want to accomplish, you can most certainly do that. But to do those things, you're going to have to make some tough decisions, and you're going to have to face some real realities. And some of those things are very hard to face. Trust me, I know. But I just want you to know that yes, I'm one of them. I'm fighting through a lot of stuff myself. And that's what it's going to take. But I'm never going to accept this whole notion that somehow I'm lesser than some of these other people out here. No, I don't need it. Listen, I don't need Democrats. I don't need Republicans. If I have to do it, I'll start the Dwayne party, and it'll be a party of one, and I'll be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? And still be happy. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I think that's it. That's all I have for you this evening. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it for you guys joining me this evening. You guys take care and enjoy the rest of your evening. All right. Take care now. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you again soon.